Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Successful Hairstylist podcast. I'm Ren Lopa, and today we are diving into some unpopular hair truths that no one talks about, but everyone needs to hear. So, whether you're a hairstylist tuning in or you're a woman who saw your hairstylist share this episode, I'm so excited to dive into some of these super common misconceptions that everyone really needs to know so that we can stop driving ourselves crazy and having unrealistic expectations of our own hair and effort to fit in with cultural beauty expectations. All right, let's get going. So, number one is that the effortless waves you saw on Instagram actually took 45 minutes, 3 products, and 2 hairstylists. I think that it is so easy to scroll and see like effortless, air dried, etc., like inspo photos and not really understand everything that went into it behind the scenes. And honestly, we're kind of guilty of perpetuating this because we don't always share how much time went into creating a style for someone or how many products we used in order to get that style to last, etc. But what this does is it sets our clients up for coming in and wanting a haircut that is going to make our hair naturally, wavy or naturally lay perfectly without the styling. I think it's so important that we talk more about the effort it takes to look effortless and everything that we're doing behind the scenes. I truly believe that if women understood, okay, it's going to take me 45 minutes, it's going to take me 3 products, but it's going to last me a week, I think they'd be willing to go all in on it. It's just that we don't usually talk about hair in those terms. We're just like, look at this cool, pretty, like end result. And, if you have a curling iron, you can do this too. But we don't always talk about like, how long it takes or setting up those realistic expectations. So, this is a big one. Effortless is a vibe. It's less of a literal reality of like not putting any effort in. All right, number 2, perimenopause and menopause can change your hair. So it's not in your head and you're not doing anything wrong. I even researched prior to recording this the average age for perimenopause. And for many women, it can start as soon as your late 30s, but most of us out there will start experiencing perimenopause symptoms between 40 and 44. For many of us out there, many of us hairstylists building a clientele, the majority of our clientele is over the age of 40. So whether they're in perimenopause or menopause, I think it's important to talk about how our hormones and our age do affect texture, thickness, and growth cycles. The reason it's important to talk about this with our guests is just to set up those realistic expectations. How many times have we had clients in our chair that show us longingly a picture of them from, earlier in their life when they had totally different hair texture, totally different thickness, everything, and they're longing for that. I think it's about having the conversation so that we can help our clients embrace their hair at every cycle of their life. Having these conversations can kind of help destigmatize it and also free women from this expectation that they need to have the same hair that they had when they were 20 years old. Like, it's just not true. We got to let it go. All right, unpopular hair truth number 3 is that seasonal shedding happens and it's predominantly in the summer, which is not what I would have thought. So essentially, there are 3 different phases of hair growth. So anagen, catagen, and telogen. Okay, so anagen is the growth phase of hair, catagen is the transitional phase, and then telogen is the resting phase, aka the time when it's about to shed. Okay, so at all times, the hair on our head is in one of these 3 places. And this study is super fascinating. So after exclusion of patients with a disease or on drugs known to cause hair loss, 823 women remained. Analysis of trichograms demonstrated annual periodicity in the growth and shedding of hair, manifested by a maximal proportion of telogen hairs in summer. So remember, telogen hairs are the ones that are resting and about to shed. A second peak seems to exist, though it is less pronounced in spring, and the telogen rates were lowest in late winter. So, if we just take a step back and think about biologically why our hair might shed more when it's warmer and why our body might hold on to hair more when it's cooler, I think that it just makes sense from like a keeping us warm standpoint and then cooling us off standpoint. So, all of this to say, I think it's important to talk about the different seasons that your clients might be experiencing more shedding so that they're not worried. And then also, on the other hand, so that they know what to look for in order to identify if something is out of whack. I would always tell my clients, like, everyone's normal is a little bit different. So if every time you brush your hair, you see kind of a consistent amount of shedding in your brush, there's nothing to worry about. But knowing, hey, in the summer I'm going to shed more, it's just a good heads up. All right, unpopular truth number 4. The goal isn't to have your 22-year-old hair forever, it's to love your hair at every age of your life. So, beauty is going to evolve over our lifetime, and your hair goals and expectations should too. There's a reason why a lot of older women, like elderly women, have short hair, and a lot of it is their own mobility. It is okay to adapt your hair to fit your lifestyle and make you feel happy and capable. And we have to give ourselves permission to let go of youthful obsession and fall in love with ourselves at every single aspect of our lives. And as hairstylists, it's really our job to hold our clients' hands through each phase of their life and tap into that confidence. There are so many ways to create a style and still have self expression beyond what your hair was like at 22. All right, unpopular hair truth number 5. Hair is deeply emotional. So if you feel different after a change, it's because you are different. So creating a safe space for your inner and outer transformation means everything to your hairstylist. I also really want, our clients and the beautiful women out there in like their everyday life, I want them to understand that just because we feel emotional after a change doesn't mean we made the wrong choice. Like, I think it's really common to see our emotions as negative, where it's like, no, it's okay to feel different after a major change. That isn't a sign that you made a poor decision. It's just a sign that you went through a change. Like, I think it's important when we're doing these massive transformations to also just touch on you're going to feel different after this. Like, you are starting a new chapter of your life as you're changing your hair right now. And, even helping them envision, cutting off the negativity from the past few months and welcoming in and making space for all of the new positive things coming their way. Like, hair is emotional. And when we don't necessarily talk about that or how it's going to feel after big changes, I think we can sometimes set our clients up to be surprised at how emotional they might feel afterwards, which can leave them feeling confused, leave them feeling really insecure and vulnerable after a big change. So, talking about it, I think, is just really important because the more they understand, the better our relationship and connection is going to be. Like, you help people every single day step into a new version of themselves. And there is an emotional aspect to that that's really important. All right, unpopular hair truth number 6. A good shower filter will not save your $300 color from cheap shampoo. I think hairstylists in general get kind of a bad rap about product recommendations, and people have become really skeptical of what they're being sold. But here's the truth about your hairstylist and product recommendations. We give custom recommendations on products because they're going to save you money, whether it's in less trips to the salon because your color is lasting better, it's less bottles per year of shampoo that you're buying. I was also researching before this episode and I saw that some people go through 12 bottles of shampoo per year, but professional products, it'll be 6 bottles per year. So, are you going to pay $11.99 every single month, or do you want to pay, $22, $25 once every couple of months in order to have something that's really going to make your hair look good. And it's very interesting to me how rebellious the average woman feels towards her hairstylist recommendations. And I think it's up to both sides to really bridge this gap in conversation. Why would someone take a quiz online? Like, this baffles me. Like, why would someone take a quiz online where they're answering every question as if they know the answers, and then they're getting a product that is not even guaranteed to work? Because I can tell you, a lot of women think they have frizzy hair, they have curly hair. Okay. Like, a lot of people have no idea. Even with density, they might think that they have thick hair, but it's actually like, density is about how big your hair strand is. So you have very fine hair. So again, you're going to buy a product that is going to weigh your hair down and you're not going to be happy with it, whether it was $11 or not. So getting the products that your hairstylist recommends, who is touching your hair, who knows your hair history, who knows your commitment to styling, why spend hours or even 30 minutes of your time researching different options, price shopping, looking for the best new thing, listening to reviews when you could just simply trust your hairstylist? Like, that alone is worth any extra investment that they are saving you the time and mental energy of trying to figure it all out yourself. Unpopular hair truth number 7 is that only 10% of your hair health is from what happens in the salon. Okay. 90% is what happens at home. So before people get frustrated with their hairstylist or walk into the salon with the expectation that they are going to walk out with completely health, like, we can erase all of this damage in one visit. Like, it's so important to understand that for better hair, you have to start with changing your at home daily habits. So, if you are coming into the salon and you have a bunch of damage and you know you're on a journey to get thicker hair, faster growing, growing out your length, etc., rehabilitating your hair, to understand that it's a team effort. Like, your hairstylist cannot undo what you are doing at home every single day. And sometimes it's going to take multiple visits and your at home commitment in order to help you see results. So often, I would have clients who might feel frustrated that, like, their hair isn't growing. They were still having breakage in the front, etc. But when I would ask them the questions, they're still flat ironing this front piece to shit every single morning because they don't like how it lays and they cannot be patient with it. So it's like, there's nothing that I can do to undo that or to make that change, except encourage you to have healthier habits at home. So again, this is a great expectation to be setting with your clients, to be talking about online, so that people understand that the responsibility ultimately falls on them. Is it going to be the person who touches their hair 100 times or the person who touches their hair one time in that month that is making or breaking the progress? I think we know the answer to that. Okay, unpopular hair truth number 8 is that natural gray hair still needs regular maintenance to prevent it from turning yellow. So, just because you have natural hair doesn't mean it is going to be less effort. So, the same is true with, like, embracing your natural waves or embracing your natural curls. A lot of times we think that, like, because it's natural, it's how my hair wants to be, it isn't going to be any effort, and it's just not true. I can tell you that when I go through my phases, usually in the summer, of wanting to enhance my waves and wear my natural hair, it takes just as long to style it. And I also have to completely adapt how I'm sleeping with my hair, how I restyle my hair the next day. If anything, for me personally, it is more work to wear my hair naturally wavy slash curly than to blow it out and have it, like, blown out all week. So, and with natural gray hair, while you may not be coloring it, the sun is naturally affecting your hair on a regular basis. So it is going to turn yellow. It is going to have unwanted tones in it. That's why, if you guys remember, like, your great grandmothers, they would do rinses and they would do different things in the salon. that would help to combat that and keep their hair, balanced out and still looking good. So having a realistic expectation that like natural hair colors still needs maintenance, okay? Natural texture still needs effort. All right, last one. You don't have to follow the rules. So bobs after pregnancy, a pixie cut after 70, long hair for your wedding. All of these standards are completely made up. And a lot of them even come from like, men or outdated ways of thinking. So I think it's important to just honor where you are in your life and then your personal style as it's growing and adapting. You can have ultra long hair after having a baby and having a toddler. You can have short hair for your wedding. You can have hair down to your feet when you're 70. Like, let's let go and also stop pressuring other people to kind of conform to our ideals that we honestly don't even know where a lot of these things came from. So let's just let people be and celebrate them in their own decisions, even if it's countercultural, even if it's against the grain of what is trending or cool at the moment. Let's let women express themselves however they want to.